Here's your news for October 3rd, 2019. We've got some huge news coming from NXT today, as former Universal and NXT champion Finn Balor has officially returned to the Yellow brand. During this week's 2-hour show on the USA Network, NXT champion Adam Cole retained his title against Matt Riddle, only to be immediately confronted by the Irishman sporting a new hairstyle. Staring down Cole, Balor told the world, "As of now, Finn Balor is NXT." The last time fans saw Balor in a ring, he lost to the Fiend Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, and the Demon is considered one of the most successful stars in NXT history. Making his debut in the Yellow brand in 2014, Balor would become the NXT champion the following year and held the gold for 292 days, the longest reign in history. Balor would also win the 2015 Dusty Rhodes Classic with Samoa Joe, and now he's back in NXT, and it seems it'll just be a matter of time before he holds gold again. It was a big night for the Undisputed Era on this week's show, as the group were also able to retain their tag team titles over the Street Profits. After the match, Cole helped Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly up the ramp after helping them win, only to be confronted by Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa was forced to vacate the NXT title due to injury after neck surgery in March, with his friend Johnny Gargano winning the title at NXT TakeOver New York in April, before losing it a month later to Cole at TakeOver 25. The Blackheart has been teasing a return for a while now though, and even tweeted a hype video about Cole shortly before the show went live. Upon his return, Ciampa made his intentions clear, eyeing up Cole's title, and between this return and the return of Balor, it seems Adam Cole's days as champion may be numbered. Overall, the first ever full-length NXT on USA was a huge show with plenty of stellar matches. Including the two mentioned, Pete Dunne continued his dominant ways with a win over Danny Burch, Johnny Gargano defeated Shane Thorne, and Shayna Baszler kept her reign as NXT Women's Champion alive with a victory over Candice LeRae. Though the return of both Finn Balor and Tommaso Ciampa are huge for the company, an even bigger return that could be happening soon is the comeback of CM Punk. According to reports, the Best in the World auditioned for the new studio show called WWE Backstage and is expecting to receive a phone call with an offer. Speaking on Collider Live about his new film Girl on the Third Floor, Punk confirmed the rumored audition and claimed he's up for anything at this point in his career, saying, "I've grown so much as a person, and I look back at all the stuff and I don't need it. I don't need the confrontation and I don't need the drama. But I'm a businessman. I also put my morals and my integrity above business deals." Fans will remember Punk walking out of the company in January 2014, and while the former world champion hasn't had many good things to say about WWE since, it seems he may finally be ready to come home. While speaking on the Sports Illustrated podcast, WWE COO Triple H made it abundantly clear that this is Fox's show, and they get to choose who comes in. It's their show, and it's something they're doing to talk about the WWE Universe and everything going on in it. They've had a long list of people they've been interviewing and everything, but as far as for us, one of the things I think this company has shown over and over again is never say never. With that said, the game also said that the company is ready to put the past behind them if the opportunity is right, and repeated his mantra of never say never. While many fans have claimed that Punk will never return, fans used to say that about the likes of Bret Hart, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and The Ultimate Warrior, and were eventually proven wrong. If this does happen, Punk would be working for Fox instead of WWE, but even having him appear on TV talking about wrestling would be a huge thing for the promotion, though the bigger question is whether this would encourage him to lace up his boots once more. The Fox deal has certainly shook things up in WWE, and SmackDown will debut on the network this Friday with a ton of crossover potential. In the run-up to the show, WWE have rolled out plenty of hype videos, but what's interesting is that many feature Raw superstars like Bray Wyatt and Becky Lynch. Now, a new video titled Newest Generation of SmackDown has continued with this, as the promo features a mix of superstars from both brands, including Wyatt, Lynch, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar. And out of that group, only Roman is a SmackDown star. If Lynch does move to SmackDown, there's a good chance that Rollins will go with her, as the company doesn't like splitting up couples. Moving the pair to the Blue brand, though, could have major ramifications for this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, as both the Architect and the Man will defend their Raw-branded titles inside the Satanic Structure against Bray Wyatt and Sasha Banks, respectively. With that said, Wyatt has also been used for the SmackDown promotional video, and Fox have reportedly told WWE that they want the Eater of Worlds on the Blue brand, so it's unclear what the future holds for the Universal title. Interestingly, The New Day, who are a SmackDown group, were featured in the new Raw opening package, so hopefully fans will get answers of who is going where when the WWE Draft happens on October 11th and October 14th. Back to Raw now, and the season premiere was a night to remember for everyone, but not in a good way for Rey Mysterio. After being assaulted by Brock Lesnar, the former world champion was forced to watch on as his son Dominic was battered by the Beast, and this attack was enough to make mainstream news. The story appeared on Fox News, which works into the company's deal with the network, and Mike Johnson noted that Fox were even running headlines to promote Raw. In general, in cable news, you know how they run the little ticker at the bottom with like sentences about the news? I saw it, and I thought maybe I was half asleep, but then somebody sent me a screenshot of it. They were running the news at the bottom, and in the middle of the news it says, Brock Lesnar assaults Rey Mysterio and son on Raw. It's certainly an interesting method to promote the show, as it seems Fox are keeping kayfabe alive and well at their station. With this advertising happening during the news, it'll be interesting to see what this'll do for the viewing figures of Raw, and whether anyone will be inclined to tune in to find out more about the story. With the WWE stuff out of the way now, it's time to look at AEW, which had their very first TV show, DYNAMITE, on TNT. After a huge intro package, the first match of DYNAMITE started between Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes, with the company's VP getting the win in 11:42. Post-match, Tony Schiavone would try to get a word with Rhodes, but was interrupted by Guevara, who wanted a handshake from his foe. In a sign of sportsmanship, Rhodes would oblige, but got attacked by Chris Jericho for his troubles, who leveled the grandson of a plumber with a running lariat, a codebreaker, and a belt shot to send him packing. An impressive start to AEW on TNT, the match wasn't perfect, but showcased both men well, with the post-match antics helping to build things down the line. The only issue there really was is that 12 minutes is a bit too long for your very first show, and there were several moments, such as the spots with Brandy, that could have been cut. Outside the ring, Jericho wasn't done with Rhodes, as he would powerbomb Cody through 2 chairs before reminding fans who he is and that he's the champion. Finishing with a "You're welcome" to the crowd, Jericho made his point known in what was an explosive start to AEW Dynamite. Up next, we had MJF take on Brandon Cutler in a match that did exactly what it needed to do. Cutting his own theme short, MJF delivered a strong pre-match promo ripping into the fans, and though Cutler worked well as an underdog, even hitting a suicide dive and Thesz press on the floor, it wasn't enough to beat MJF. Using the ref as a diversion, the distraction was enough for Friedman to land a crushing elbow strike and the Salt of the Earth armbar for the submission win. Post-match, Cutler struggled to climb to the top, and it's unclear whether this was some great selling or if he's legitimately injured. Only time will tell. Fans got a very interesting guest appearance next, as Jay and Silent Bob appeared to promote their new movie, which has a cameo role by Jericho. The alter egos of Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, the duo would get into an altercation with Angelico and Jack Evans, though it'd be the Private Party who would make the save, ending the segment abruptly. We got another segment next, as SoCal Uncensored brawled with the Lucha Bros in a very unique moment. Standing outside the White House, Scorpio Sky did his best Barack Obama impression, with Kaz and Daniels acting as Secret Service. During the promo, Sky announced Daniels and Kazarian would be teaming up for the tag team tournament. As Sky finished talking though, the Lucha Bros reminded the crowd that they are the best tag team in the universe before the 5 men got into a brawl and were separated by officials and agents. The next match saw Pac take on Adam Page, and the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion remains undefeated in AEW. While the match will be remembered for its hard-hitting, methodical pace, both men got some athleticism in, as Pac landed a series of springboard high spots and Page hit an impressive moonsault off the top rope outside. A kick to the groin that Earl Hebner didn't spot proved to be the difference maker here, as the underhanded move allowed Pac to lock in his brutalizer submission that forced Hebner to call for the bell to protect the defenseless Page. Title match action was next on the show, as the company has its first AEW Women's Champion, and her name is Riho. With future contender Dr. Britt Baker watching at the commentary table, Riho and Nyla Rose both gave their all to become the first Women's Champion, with the Colossal Rose often overpowering her much smaller opponent. It's hard to say whether Riho's victory can be considered as believable given the size difference, but after she hit an avalanche Northern Lights suplex from the second rope and a running set of knees to the face, Riho got the pin. The new AEW Women's Champion didn't have long to celebrate though, as she was quickly attacked by Rose, who also powerbombed interviewer Michael Nakasawa for his troubles. As she set up the Death Valley Driver, Rose was interrupted by Kenny Omega, who rescued Riho and confronted Rose, as it seems an intergender match between the two may happen in the future. Main event time now as Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz took on Omega and the Young Bucks in a huge six-man tag. As you could expect, the match was a massively entertaining affair, though it did have some questionable booking, such as when Jon Moxley pulled Omega from the ring, which sparked a brawl that didn't end in a DQ. Nevertheless, the match continued, and the former Dean Ambrose was able to hit a DDT on Omega through a glass table for the spot of the night. A late hot tag to Nick Jackson sparked an incredible medley of high-flying moves until Jericho ran in to intercept a best Meltzer ever attempt with a codebreaker and a Judas effect to get another win in the company. A truly great main event, but the show wasn't over yet, as with Omega reeling, the Bucks were prone to a 3-on-2 beatdown until Cody arrived to even the numbers. In response, Guevara appeared to get revenge on the man who'd beaten him earlier in the night, and was followed by Dustin Rhodes, who cleared house. Once the dust settled though, it was the heels who stood tall, thanks to the debut of Bellator's Jake Hager, aka former WWE World Champ Jack Swagger, who hit a brutal spinebuster on Dustin, revealing himself as a heel. With Cody going through a table and Jericho landing one more Judas effect, the AEW champion, Hager, Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz stood tall in the ring to close the show. That wasn't the end of the festivities though, as according to fans, Jericho would entertain the crowd off the air, and though he didn't incite a riot, one fan did throw a hot dog at the world champion. Being the entertainer he is, Jericho crossed the sausage in his hand and furiously demanded to know the thrower, receiving a "That's my wiener" chant from the crowd in what we can only describe as a modern-day "I'm Spartacus." It wasn't just hilarious antics post-show though, as a series of dark matches happened once cameras stopped rolling, including TH2 and the Lucha Bros defeating Private Party and Best Friends in 8-man tag action. Britt Baker and Allie teamed to topple B. Priestley and Penelope Ford, and SCU defeated Jurassic Express in some more huge tag matches that let fans see as much of the roster as possible. A truly epic first episode of Dynamite, fans will definitely be tuning in to see what happens next week, but when you put this show against the explosive edition of NXT fans saw, Wednesday nights are going to be very interesting indeed for wrestling fans in the coming year.